I'm Chris. Welcome to this video. What we're going to be showing you today is our new 5 gigabit switch. We're going to be showing how to, well, we're going to be unboxing it and then we're going to be showing you the configuration. While we're doing this video, a few photographs will pop up from the slideshow. They'll only be up for about 5 seconds. So if you want to take more information out of them, please pause the video at that point in time. I'm going to hand over now to Stephen Dushvidisi, who is our technical director.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be doing the unboxing of a new Mikrotik switch. This is a 5 gigabit Ethernet switch, okay? Just to show you what comes in the box, essentially it's the switch itself, okay? As well as power supply. I'm going to start by taking you around the switch and explaining a few of the different hardware ports that you're going to see here. For starters, we've got a power port, okay, that's a DC jack which takes in an 8 to 30 volt operating voltage. There's a 5 Ethernet ports over there, which are all gigabit Ethernet ports, okay. On the top here we've got our LED status lights. On the back here we've got an Sfp port there where you can plug in a fiber transceiver. Additional to the DC power port, you can also power the router via the PoE jack. Before getting into some of the sort of software features running on the switch, I'm now going to actually show you a physical connection of those two power options, one through the DC power jack and one through the PoE. When we power on the switch via the DC port, you'll immediately see the power light go active. Only once we actually physically connect an Ethernet client to the switch will you start seeing activity on the LEDs. Similarly to the DC jack, you can also power it through the PoE port. What I've got here is just a power over Ethernet adapter. So what will happen is you've got two Ethernet ports, one LAN and one PoE. Your LAN will normally run from your standard network point / router, and what's going to happen is the adapter is going to bridge 24 volts onto your PoE port there. So that means when we're now connecting our PoE cable to the PoE port, not only do we have comms, but we also have power, and you'll notice the power LED come on. Before we get into connecting the switch over the Ethernet ports and over the Sfp port, I just want to show you a couple of accessories that are also supported by the switch. For starters, that is the Sfp transceivers, okay? There's a few different transceivers that are supported by the switch, which you'll see on the slides popping up. What I've got here today is a single mode fiber Sfp transceiver, okay? Essentially, we've got two transceivers, and the idea behind this is you're going to use the transceiver in the Sfp port to link two of these switches over a long distance fiber cable. Okay, so to connect our little Sfp transceiver to the switch, it's pretty simple. All we need to do is slide it in to the slot and actually make sure you feel the click. After this, we're going to need to just remove the little plastic protector so that we can insert our fiber cable in there. These transceivers use an LC connector, so you need to make sure that you've got an LC terminated fiber cable as opposed to your standard connector, your standard fiber connector. These transceivers can essentially support a fiber cable up to 20 kilometers. What I've got here today is just a short sort of 3-meter fly lead, okay? I've got two fiber cables here, it's a duplex cable, but as you can see on the port, we've actually got just one. So I'm just going to use one of the duplex cables in this fly lead to connect two routers together. Take another switch, exactly the same model, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the fiber fly lead between them, okay? So we've got the Sfp transceiver connected there on the one side. Just need to connect him onto the other switch again, exactly as we did before. Okay, make sure you hear that click. Okay, now we can connect our fiber cable. Okay, make sure we use the same endpoints. Okay, we need to again remove these little plastic protective covers. Okay, and we can now connect. Okay, with our fiber cables connected now, you should be able to see the Sfp indicator LEDs go bright, and that will indicate that you've now got successful connection over your fiber. Now we've connected the fiber cable over the Sfp port. We can actually connect a Ethernet cable between one of the gigabit Ethernet ports on the router to daisy chain these two switches together. Okay, so if we do that, so we're just going to use a standard Ethernet cable here, and when I connect two of these Ethernet ports, now I've got two switches that are essentially networked together over the Ethernet cable. That means we can connect client Ethernet devices here, and both will be on the same network. I'm just going to connect my PC to the switch so that I can show you how to log in and access the web-based GUI that you can, where you can make your changes. I've now disconnected the two switches, so we're back just to one of them. And this is to show you how I'm going to connect my PC to the switch and log into the web-based graphical user interface. Okay, so again, we're just going to connect directly over Ethernet. Now that we're connected to the switch, we're going to need to assign our LAN port a manual IP address. This is because the DHCP is not enabled by default on the router. Usually it's expected to be connected to another DHCP server, for example, your server, your router, or your ISP server, for example. So we're going to navigate to our LAN settings, and the switch's IP address by default is 192.168.88.1. So we can set it to something such as 192.168. Now that we've assigned our LAN IP address, we'll be able to log into the web-based GUI by opening up a web browser and navigating to the IP address of the switch. The login, the default login is the username is admin, and there's no password. From there, you will see a status overview page, and you can start configuring all sorts of software features on the switch. You'll see by default one of the standard sort of operating features of switches is packet forwarding, and that's basically meaning that whatever packet is available on port 1 will also be seen by port 4. Okay, so there's means where you can isolate the various Ethernet ports on the switch. So for example, you could have 1 and 2 linked like a normal switch, and 3, 4, and 5 on a separate sort of network. So you could almost partition this switch. See from there that there's a vast range of different software features that you can configure on this managed switch. Things like port locking, port mirroring, access control lists, VLANs, and so on. For more detail on that, please just give us a shout rather. Our contact details will pop up shortly. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope to have you guys back with us on another video soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.